hanging out my door. Can't see your face no more. I don't need your war machines. I don't need your ghetto scenes. Good enough to hypnotize. I can look eyes now. I'm a married woman. Listen what I say.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessa Moyer. Happy 4th of July. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. And today, we are celebrating freedom.
Right? Happy 4th of July, you guys. We are definitely celebrating our freedom and our Wealth Wednesday here because we have plenty of abundance with our community, with all the celebrations, and just giving great gratitude for all the people that have come before to sacrifice their time, their lives, and everything above so that we can live the life that we love.
Absolutely. So incredible. And we've had some incredible guest interviews.
Absolutely, who are living their DTM life, doing the most. Special shout out to our recent guests, Megan and Gretchen. I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
Love them. Love the
They're
same
very, very inspirational. Talk about freedom to be able to live and love whoever you want. Should be a birthright for sure, right?
Yes, and it is.
It is.
It is a birthright.
And we're celebrating that here in the United States today on the 4th of July. Also want to celebrate Ms. Leanne Tessa. She's an incredible talent. She's part of the Club Mickey Mouse. We got to celebrate with her at the recent release of her hit single, Runnin'. Rob and I were on the red carpet in the most recent issue of Focus magazine. Take a little peek right here. And she sang the national anthem at Dodgers Stadium.
Killed it.
Right?
Killed it.
I think we should sing along. What do you think?
I'm not singing along. You can sing along. But next to Leanne, I'm not singing ever.
I can't even lip sing the song, okay? How am I going to sing it?
It's one of the most difficult songs to sing, apparently. Yeah.
Well, she handled it splendidly.
She sure
Let's
did.
take a look.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leanne Tessa.
So awesome.
Nailed it.
Oh, how old is she? I mean, what? Like, that's, I would be so nervous up there. Even as a good singer, you'd be nervous. Like, that's some pressure.
It is. I know. I can't imagine doing that. It's tough enough just to speak in a crowd. Like, can you imagine just literally just speaking in a crowd like that, let alone singing? It's
Yeah,
a whole nother thing.
no, absolutely. But there is probably no funner place to celebrate the 4th of July than at Dodgers Stadium. This week they have fireworks. It's an incredible opportunity. Have you been to a Dodgers game?
I haven't, Jazz.
What?
I should be. I know.
I feel like
so many
that's
things
like-
you have to do in LA.
In LA, you have to. You have to go to a Dodgers game. You have to go to the Lakers. I'm sure you will
Oh, I
see
will
LeBron
be
now.
at the Lakers game. Yes. With LeBron in town.
We're taking, sponsors for those tickets for the new basketball.
We're open to receive
season,
here
right?
always.
It's all about wealth on this day, you know?
Absolutely right.
Absolutely. And celebrating wealth, we are going to feature a recent interview we did with Dale Beaumont. He is the co-founder and creator of BizVersity. It's a new online platform where actually you can go and learn all about the businesses you want to create. So it's like Netflix for business.
Yeah, it's a crash course in all things business.
It's really brilliant, right?
It
There's
is.
so many coaches, so many leadership programs, but he's put it into one app basically that you can just get it all right there at the palm of your hands. Talk about wealth, right?
Yeah, it's a
Abundance.
one-stop shop for all you need to know to build your business.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at BizVersity. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. If you ever wanted to quit your job and live like a boss, you should meet this guy, Mr. Dale Beaumont. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Dale,
Hi,
where,
pleasure having you
where
guys.
were you
Good to see
20
you.
years ago? I needed that information.
We all did.
Finally.
Yeah, it's here now. It's an awesome app that I've created, but looking forward to chatting and sharing, some of my background.
So tell us, what is Bizversity?
So Bizversity is basically the Netflix for business. There's 1,000 videos that are available literally in the palm of your hand. So it's a smartphone app, anyone can download it. Just go to Bizversity in the App Store, and then you create an account, and there's thousands of videos. So you pick and choose the ones that you need. If you need to learn about marketing, you can go straight there. Or if you need help with regards to technology, which we were speaking about before, then you can learn about technology. Basically, anything that you need is just now all in one place.
So brilliant. I mean,
it's really brilliant.
It's amazing that, it's such a simple concept, and yet no one's doing it. It's profound.
And the reason why we created it is because there is 500 million business owners around the world, and only 1% of them really have access to a business coach or a business consultant. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could create like a business advisor in a smartphone app, which is sort of what we've created with Bizversity. And what's cool about it is that you can watch videos, but the average person spends 4 weeks a year driving around in their car or catching public transport. So we've created this little piece of technology which we call Learn Switch, where if you're watching a video, you can click a button and it switches to audio mode. And so you can just...
Oh yeah, I just had this dream last night about this. Really cool. This is the next thing. I know it's coming.
Yeah, and so it goes to audio mode, and then when you get out of your car and you can tap another button and it goes back to video mode, and it just remembers your place. And we've also got a TV app as well, which is available through Apple TV, so you can download Bizversity, and it just syncs. So if you then get home and you're like at 15 minutes through a video, you click play, it'll remember where you were, and then just continue. And the other cool thing as well, it can you can watch in double speed. So if you want to watch a half an hour video in 15 minutes, you can. Yeah, so there's some really cool kind of features that we've built into the product just to make it faster and easier for people to learn.
So I'm very curious to know, did you learn how to do business through videos?
Yeah, when I started business 17 years ago, and so YouTube really wasn't around back then, so I was mainly going along to workshops and seminars, and people would sometimes sell tapes that you'd put in your car, and that's kind of how I learned, and going along to workshops, and then later on they became CDs and then DVDs, and then YouTube came along, but a lot of the videos on YouTube would tend to be different kind of quality and a little bit hit and miss, and so I thought it would be really good if there was a place where people could go which was more convenient. And the other cool thing that the app has as well is that you can, the biggest complaint that we've had about the app is people are using it so much that they're using a lot of their mobile data when they're like on the road. And so what we have now is a feature where you can basically download all of your next week's worth of content when you're at home or at your office on Wi-Fi. And then when you're driving or when you're jogging or exercising or at the gym, it doesn't use any of your mobile data. It just kind of uses the downloaded material.
You know, it's interesting because a lot of the business, of course, first of all, we are in probably the biggest shift and growth movement of entrepreneurial, movement. And so many people are interested in doing online businesses, and there's all these coaches. And I think it's interesting because if you take a look at the truth of the universe, is that it's totally abundant, and that really it's our birthright to have all this wisdom. And a lot of the coaches will charge, there's coaches that charge $40,000 for their programs, right? So this is a way that it brings it down for anybody to be able to afford it. And so how has that been? How have you honed it to know, like, where's the sweet spot and what people pay each month, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so we decided to launch it for free just to kind of get as many people using it, getting feedback around what people were looking for, and that's helped us to make some changes like the ability to download content, and that switching feature between audio and video mode were all features that were requested by users. So we've had 65,000 people now that have downloaded the app and that are using it on a regular basis. And so we're soon to launch a subscription model. So it'll still be free. People will be able to watch 2 videos a month at no cost. But then if they want to watch more than that, then it will be like a Netflix, so $9 a month, and you can access unlimited videos, and you can download, and you can switch between different modes, and you can access it on multiple devices. So yeah, we wanted it to be just like we say, the world's best education at the world's most affordable price for anyone that wants to learn business.
That's absolutely brilliant. As a fellow entrepreneur, I'm very curious to know your journey in creating this business. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so how it sort of started was my background was originally in sport. I used to be a gymnast in Australia and went to a number of different events. So I learned a lot of valuable lessons from my sporting career, hard work, discipline. And then when I kind of finished my sporting career, I just sort of felt that everyone was kind of moving too slow. And I think the only way to get ahead was just to go into business. And there's a lot of similarities, I think, between business and sport. You know, hard work and discipline and all those type of things just kind of carried over. So I had a number of different businesses that I ran in my 20s. My kind of one that I've kind of most well known for now is a business education company, but it runs, it operates through live events. So I do about 60 live events per year, which is great. But I still only get to reach my little corner of the world in Australia, which is great. But around the world, there are entrepreneurs kind of everywhere, and they don't kind of get access to a lot of the coaches and mentors and workshops that are so abundant in Australia and in America. There's lots of experts, but I've been to now 85 countries around the world, and there's in many parts there is no kind of events for people just kind of like struggle on their own. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there's a product that people could, everyone's now got a smartphone, even developing countries. So I thought this is the way that we could help entrepreneurs globally through a medium that everyone has access to now, which is their phone.
So interesting. What's been the most challenging part about building this particular business?
Well, the challenging thing is like I've been running events and speaking for 16 years, but developing a technology product is a whole kind of different world. So dealing with programmers and you know, just sort of saying, oh, just move that around. It's like, it's going to take 3 hours. I'm like, just to do that, like, come on. You know, you just assume that it's just so much easier. But when you're doing stuff, like I have a little bit of experience in making changes to websites and things like that, and it's pretty easy. But developing apps is like 10 times harder than doing websites. And so it's just sometimes it's frustrating because things take longer than what you want. And then you've got a whole different way of building apps for Apple, and then Android is completely different. And so we've got nearly 1,000 videos, and they have to be all encoded differently for all the different devices and different platforms. So it's just, you know, I thought, oh yeah, this will be easy. And then I thought, oh wow, this is hard.
So which courses are most consumed? Which are the most popular out of your platform?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch on how to actually start a business in there, and there's a lot of people that are still working for someone else, but they have a dream of, you know, going into their own business at some point. And I think it's great that a lot of people now, before they jump in and end up making a whole lot of mistakes, and unfortunately there's the failure rate of startup businesses is very, very high. So I say to people, like, start your education as early as possible. Even if you're not going to start your business for a year or 2 years time, you can be kind of learning as much as you possibly can. So that material is really popular. A lot of stuff around leadership and management is because I think a lot of people struggle when it comes to managing people. Normally they're good at their thing, you know, whether that be, you know, cutting hair or, you know, landscaping. But the moment that they grow and they need a team, they have to learn about, okay, now I've got to deal with people, and I've got to do training, and I've got to, how do I motivate people, and how do I solve challenges and problems that arise. So they've been really popular. And then also we've got a lot of stuff around technology and productivity and automation, and how to get done more with less, because business is very competitive, and unless you're being productive, you won't really survive. So that's all that material is pretty popular.
It's interesting because I'm in the spiritual world, and it's interesting because I love the business world, I love the entrepreneur world, and people go, well, how does that go together? It's like, it absolutely goes together, because just what you said, the management, you have to be so much more developed as you're working with teams and personalities and quirks, and we're all like, we all have our flaws, you know, and so I think that business is such a profound spiritual class to develop your own business, to develop teamwork, to develop all the technology and all the you know, documents, and just there's so much to it. It's a fascinating world.
Totally, and sometimes I think business is like personal development in action.
Completely.
You know, because you have to confront your fears. You've got to step out of your comfort zone on a daily basis. You've got to do things that, you know, may be a bit uncomfortable, and it just forces you to grow and forces you to become, you know, a better person.
I absolutely love that, and it's certainly been my experience. I've learned so much about myself in making this, you know, journey into being an entrepreneur in business. What have you learned though about yourself in doing Bizversity?
Yeah, well, I think I've learned to become even more resourceful when it comes to finding smarter ways to kind of get things done. And I've also learned a lot about like a thing that I didn't even know, UX and UI design, user interface and
Love
user
that.
experience
So
stuff.
awesome.
That was a whole new world to sort of like how to plan out the actual app and how it works, because how, you know, what was intuitive and instinctive for me may be completely different to someone else. So I designed something in a certain way and I develop a prototype and you'd give it to someone and it's like, can't you see that button?
Seems obvious.
Yeah, and they're like doing something different. I'm like, why are you clicking there? But you know, once you then get 5 or 6 people, then you go, okay, well, I'm obviously the exception to the rule, so I have you go back and sort of redesign it. So that's been a whole, you know, interesting challenge to learn. And
UX means user experience, just for those
User
people that are out
experience,
there.
yeah, and
so
UI
how
is
do they?
user
They're not going to
interface.
consume it if it's too hard or if it's not aesthetic enough or whatever it is. That's where UX is such a brilliant profession. One of my dear friends has that company, and it's just I think it's one of the most creative areas in technology right now, because it's really what is having us interact. And I mean, technology is great, but if you don't like using it, it's not going to last, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So definitely learn a lot about discovered skills that I didn't know I had. So
Well, I'm excited to discover skills I didn't know I had on Bizversity.
Absolutely.
Tell the audience where they can find more information and download your app.
yeah, so just go to the App Store and it's Bizversity, and the first 3 letters are B-I-Z and then Versity. So it works on Apple, works on Android, Apple TV as well if you have it there, or you can go to bizversity.com and it's free to sign up and you can access all of the videos, and just, yeah, we're really looking for feedback on what people like and what people are looking for, and we're just going to keep working to make it better and add more and more great content.
So you too can live like a boss. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. What a great interview. So important to rise. I truly believe that we are here to always stand on the shoulders of all the people that came before us. We're all teachers, mentors, and students at the same time. I just want to give gratitude today for all the people that I have learned from and that have taught me and mentored me. And there's so many great books, so many leaders, so many courses. And so I just want to honor all the teachers out there.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I would say that if there's one thing that's been a theme in my life, it's like learning, right? I mean, you can't ever learn enough. And I always feel like there's somebody so much smarter that's already done what I'm trying to do. So if I can just learn from them, I can save myself like 10 years or maybe a lifetime of pain.
Absolutely, and that's what I find so interesting and inspiring about Dale, is that he's really created a platform for people to continue their education. It's never too late to learn something new, right? And a lot of times that held me back, right? Beyond Googling something, you can learn to create a new business for yourself. It's a totally new perspective. It's incredibly freeing and empowering.
Right. I remember the conversation years ago. It was when I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was one of my greatest mentors, just via a book. I didn't take any of his personal courses, and it was a question always, I think, and we get this a lot from people that are coming here and entrepreneurs, like, when do you take that quantum leap to leave your day job and make your entrepreneurship full-time? And I think that it's a question that we all have to ask ourselves. I am kind of more of a firm believer that you don't want to take too much risk. You want to have stability, because if you get too much fear, then your creativity goes down. So if you need to keep a day job for a while you make that transition, I'm all for it. But
It's such a great question. It's such a personal question, I think, because we've had so many fantastic guests on the show, and they all seem to have slightly different answers with respect to that question. I do think it has a lot to do with risk tolerance, obviously, right? Like everybody's got a different sort of threshold for risk, so you've got to take that into account. I remember once hearing, I think it was Will Smith, who simply said that he believed in like burning all bridges behind him because he didn't want to have a backup plan. He didn't want to have an insurance
he has
plan.
no fear though.
He does it. Yeah. It's worked out well for him.
He's great. Yeah.
But that wouldn't work for everybody.
If we could all have zero fear factor ever in our lives, then we can burn all those bridges, right?
Yeah.
Did you burn your bridges?
I don't think I did. That being said, if you were to talk to my father, he would say, man, Rob, because he told me for the longest time, like, don't go into psychology, don't do these things, because he knew it's a really tough road. And in order to make a lot of money, with psychology, for instance, you ideally have to get a PhD and all these things. And he wasn't wrong about so many of those things. But yeah, I would say that for sure, probably the day that I left the consulting company and like started modeling was probably the day that I started burning bridges. Not intentionally, it just happened. Yeah. What about you?
I'm
In a
sure
good
your
way.
dad was like, "Are you
Yeah, he was.
kidding me?"
Yeah. until he saw me like actually on TV, and then he was like, oh wait,
I get it.
I get it. Okay, good job.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. What about you, Jez? Did you sort of take that quantum leap and?
I don't know. I think I always take a quantum leap. My family jokes that I'm full of these once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll call my mom. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And she's like, again? I thought that's what happened last time. And I'm like, oh, they just keep happening. You wouldn't believe it. So I try not to burn bridges at all because I never know where these bridges are going to take me. That said, there's no plan B for me. There's just plan A. I mean, I invested a lot of time in honing different skills, and when I reflect back on it, years that I spent in hospitality or things like that, it only helped prepare me for where I'm at today. So it might have felt like it was a sidetrack or I'd been derailed, but really it was setting me up for exactly where I need to be right now.
So true.
Amen to that, Jess.
Right?
It's huge.
I think it's burn the ships, not burn the bridge, though. I think that's a different. Do you think that he said?
Well, I think the challenge is that, so what often happens is, you make a decision, right? It's a brand new decision, and you start moving in a certain direction. And as soon as the fear hits you, a lot of times you want to retreat and go back over that bridge. But he was like, no, burn the bridge, force yourself to continue moving forward. And so that doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but it worked for him. And I think George Clooney said something similar. I think he had like 13 failed pilots or something crazy before he finally booked like ER. So I think it's just a temperament kind of thing. I'm not all that. I wouldn't say my risk tolerance is all that high, but as I look back on my life, I realized I've taken some pretty crazy risks.
Yeah, it's all relative, right? I remember when I was moving out to LA, and it was scary. I was, leaving my son and coming. I, had a mission to come out and finish my doctorate and do stuff, but it was scary. And it's not that big of a deal, but for other people, that would be huge. So it's really relative of what your risk factor is for sure. But I think it's a good conversation anyway on this Wealth Wednesday, knowing that we have total abundance, but whatever you truly desire inside, innovation is within, and sky's the limit. Right?
Absolutely, which leads us to two of my recent favorite interviews. One with Mr. David Gunning. He really absolutely took a risk and is developing and producing independent film projects on a micro budget. They've had great success on the festival circuit, and he's really got an incredible insight on taking that risk. And our girl, Cece Elisa.
Yes, love Cece.
We love Cece. She's just taking no holds bar approach to life. She's not waiting for the weight to hold her back anymore. She's really embracing her life. She's got an incredible lifestyle blog. So I'd love to share their insight with you.
Right, and one of his movies is Sick for Toys, which is kind of funny, but it is the point that it's like on holidays, it's just fun. It's fun to just turn off everything, and it's one of those movies that you can watch, it's a horror flick, so you can pretty much watch them anytime over and over again.
It's funny
right?
too, it's kind of like a play on the whole Christmas in July thing. So we're about 6 months out for Christmas, so why not mention a holiday horror flick?
That's right. Stay tuned, you guys.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Packrat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live
from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand.
Welcome to the very first episode of Sadie Says. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie.
Welcome, Daniel Hall. First episode.
I didn't even realize it was your first episode.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Erin Show. It's been a while since we've been here, and I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose and calling, and I have Elle Russ in the house. Thank you so much for coming all the way down here today.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Tara Tanner, and this is the Model Mama Show. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Chelsea Cannell-Briggs, who this is literally a blast from the past, you guys.
It's true.
We haven't seen each other since we worked together at Fox Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I am excited and delighted because we have an amazing guest. So thank you, Jeannie, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of both of you.
I'm Jessamine Mollier, and this is LA Unscripted, and I'd love to welcome to my show Mr. Jacques Silverstein. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my great pleasure to be with you.
This is somebody who went from super nerd to supermodel, so I'm so excited. Let's talk to Anna.
Yes.
Anna, you were the winner of our very first Viva Glam model search.
Yeah, you guys were actually my very first photo shoot.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Reshape. I'm Allie Landry, and I am so thrilled to have our next guest. So I am so grateful that you are here with us at Reshape today.
Thank you, Allie. I'm so happy to see you. And you couldn't look more gorgeous if you tried.
Today's guest is best known for being the fitness guru on 6 seasons of The Biggest Loser. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Dolvet. Dolvet, we don't even say Quince anymore. It's just Dolvet. It's
like one name.
Dolvet.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. We have perfect lighting. We've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having
me. Of course.
Hello and welcome to The Joe Show. I'm Josephine, and here on our couch today is none other than the heartthrob of Shahs of Sunset, Shervin.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ren Wood Show. I am so excited for my guest today. I have the beautiful Bianca Hayes. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. Give me a hug.
For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
This girl. Here we go.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me laugh.
That was a good practice run though.
It was a practice run, a little slow on the uptake. Let's.
Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets. No, hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over?
I'm Wendy Brokaw. I'm Paula Marshall. By the way, this is politics, okay? This is not ticks. I hated it. Let's do it one more time.
Well, that's why I created Just a Thought meditation recordings, so that you can meditate in your sleep. Pause it there. Can you edit it in?
Being new in town, it gives me a perspective on, oh shit, no, that was wrong.
No, can we start all over? That's too much talking.
No, I'm an actress. I mean, you've seen me, hopefully.
Yeah, it's like so hard. It's so hard. That was so hard.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
Oh, God.
I'll stop.
Let's do it one more time.
Bitching,
Didn't work.
complaining.
Let me do it one more time.
We're gonna do it one more time.
Ready? And action.
Do I just talk again?
If you are vegan, you get a vegan broth. You get, Jesus, guys, fuck. I'm blah, blah.
I wish my boobs looked like yours. Where are they?
It's single issue. Single issue! Single issue!
Andy, did I make it fun yet?
Thank you! It's no longer a golden secret. We're done!
We are here with David Gunning. He is an actor, he is a producer, he is a creative genius, and he is part of the Focus TV family. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We know you've been on this epic journey of independent filmmaking.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. How did this all begin for you?
I have to say about 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago, I got real tired of other people telling me that I couldn't be a part of their projects. So I decided one day, okay, let's start to write. So then I started to write, and then slowly but surely we started with web series, and then my production partner and I, John Paul, who was on the show earlier, then we started creating short films, and we were doing really, really well with short films.
And when you mean you were doing really, really well with short films, what does that look?
So essentially we have a handful of short films that have gone pretty much all over the world.
He's being very humble. Award-winning, internationally recognized short films.
Yeah, some of them are pretty good, but you know, the unfortunate thing about short films is that it's difficult to see them. You know, distributors aren't really interested in short films because short films don't generally make money. You know, with the exception of particular short films, like if Kobe is in your short film, you know, we're going to recognize that.
So you're going on, you're writing, you're having some success, and then what?
Yeah, so then we decided, okay, it's time to move on to feature films. And that's where the real battle really essentially comes along, because short films you can shoot for a lower budget, and you can have cast members that you're close with, and they're willing to work for a day or work for an hour, and you can get them for a lower rate, so to say. But when it comes to the feature film, and you know, with the features, it's about first off getting all the money. So the budget.
Well, first, before you even get the money, you've got to find the right script. The script that you're going to marry yourself to for years, right?
Correct.
So what was it about Sick for Toys that you thought, you know what, I am going to embark on this?
Sick for Toys, who, like we mentioned before, it was an original idea by James Oster, huge horror buff. And then Justin Xavier took that and made it into a screenplay. And when we read Justin's script, it kind of hopped off the page to us. It was, this is extremely original, it's daring, and it's going to ruffle some people's feathers. And that to us was really important.
But we know also that Christmas movies can do very well, and horror movies can do well. So did that play into your decision? Like,
absolutely. Doing a holiday film is definitely an advantage as a producer. Because if people love it, it will continue to play and continue to play and hopefully live on for a very long time. We've seen that with A Christmas Story, obviously, which plays 24 hours you know, during Christmas time. Now, whether they're going to play a thriller with, you know, a little bit of blood and other things that might be a little outrageous to some people's eyes, that's time will tell with that.
Yeah.
But you essentially, as a producer, you roll the dice, you gamble, and hopefully you hit, and then you know you can move forward in a positive
So let's
manner.
get a little like into this, because you're married.
Correct.
I'm assuming you don't have children yet, because you're pretty young. Do you have children?
One on the way.
Okay, congratulations.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
So I mean, I think it's brilliant to do a horror and Christmas, and I think it's fun to just have all expressions. So, but having said that, what do you feel about like kids like maybe getting scared out and creeped out about Christmas and holidays? Like, does that? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about what that might do?
Well, Yes and no. I mean, it's definitely geared towards an older audience. But what I can say is that I think when you get creeped out as a kid, as you get older, you can tell that story of, oh man, I remember when I was little and I was watching this film and I was really creeped out and I had to run up to my bedroom and it was awful.
But horror films really create lifelong memories. You remember how you felt. You were scared. That fear lived on, and it becomes a good story. And I think that's what's so unique about the genre of horror. More so even than a romantic comedy. Oh, I laughed at this movie. No, I was terrified. We hid under the covers, and that's really something very special to give to audiences.
Yeah, I've always felt that the kind of the crazier the story, or the more horrific the story, the more interesting it is. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but personally for myself, a safe story generally isn't very interesting. People go, you tell a story and it's really kind of boring, and you're like, okay, great.
So, speaking of that, so in terms of the story itself, can you give us sort of lay out the premise a little bit of the movie?
Sure. So as we know, it's a thriller. It's during Christmas time, and not to give too much away, it's really about a guy who is kind of down on his luck. He's the guy who always finishes last. He's the nice guy, and he runs into this real pretty girl. Just so
always
happens.
starts with a pretty girl.
So it goes downhill. He's searching for his best friend, and through searching through the best friend, that's how he runs into the pretty girl, and then they connect, and from what you can see from one of the trailers, they connect as well, and then things go downhill very quickly. That's what I can tell you, essentially, without spoiling anything.
Well, let's take a look at the trailer for Sick for Toys.
I'm glad you called me back.
What's going on? Everything okay?
This is gonna sound crazy. It's Jason. I haven't heard from him since yesterday morning. Could you try to call him for me?
I doubt he's gonna pick up my phone call. I'll just go straight to his place. Jason, you in there? Nothing's out of place. His computer was still there.
What about his car?
That wasn't there. My name's Roy. I think you know my friend Jason.
We were supposed to go on a date the other day, but he blew me off.
Are you Roy? I love decorating. Stringing up the lights, hanging the wreaths, and you should come over for dinner tonight.
Tonight?
6:30.
We have a guest coming tonight. I don't want to have to gag you.
Hello? The house is over here. I thought I heard something. Thought maybe Amelia was in there.
She's inside.
I just thought he might want to play with my Christmas present.
I just want to go home. As long as I give him medicine, you'll be able to play with him a while longer.
Did you take your medicine?
Terrified right now, in the best way. Not just because this was a super scary trailer, but because I want this to succeed so much. I know that you have put your heart, your soul into building this as an entrepreneur and as a producer. So what was it like for you to raise the funds to make that?
Well, if you've ever begged for something and just had people kind of not even pay attention to you, walk right by you, act like you're nobody, you're nothing, kind of laugh, mock, whatever, oh, I have this idea. Great, so does everybody else. Yeah, be gone. That's kind of how it was. I mean, it was difficult, just begging for the money, begging for the opportunity to be able to create.
And you did this on an ultra low budget.
Yeah, very, very low budget. But I think that we made the most out of what we had. And I think that's really the key. There are a lot of monster budgeted films or low budgeted films, And I found that the films that do the best are really the films that have quote unquote lightning in the bottle. And you know, instead of focusing on having a big star or something that kind of takes all of your attention away as far as, you know, too much blood or too much killing or too much of one thing, we focused on everything kind of being universal and all flowing together and creating that lightning, so that it was more about the entire product as opposed to you know, just one singular thing, you know, blowing things up.
And what's great about that too is you make it for a smaller budget, right? Which you can really do in horror, and the return can be that much bigger.
That's what we pray for. Yeah. You know, what's unfortunate, what you can, there's been a pattern lately is there's a lot of big budgeted films, and sometimes they do really well. You have, you know, things like Avengers and Star Wars and all that. And there's some films that you know, don't do so hot, so you might not meet that original huge chunk of money.
Well, you might be able to have some merch. You could have some really scary gifts that they can open that are just like some Christmas presents that really scare you. I don't know.
Yeah. So well, but what we're hoping for is that we shot low, and our main goal with this was really to earn the industry's respect and to garnish more opportunities so that we can eventually create films with bigger budgets.
So what would you say to producers who want to do what you have done? What is it that you wish you would have known before you did this?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Buy a monster bottle of patience.
They sell that? I need a little of that.
Sell that somewhere. Patience, just be so patient, because when you think you have one thing finished, or you think that one phase is coming to an end, or you think that you have one thing wrapped up, it's going to take a little longer. And then once that's done, there's always something else that you need to move forward with. So essentially, a producer's job is never over. It really isn't. It's kind of amazing. I really respect anyone who takes the dive as a producer, and especially with these big budgeted films, because when you watch the credits, it's just lined with all these names, and I'm staring at the screen and I'm thinking they had to pay every single one.
So dollar signs rolling by.
Yeah, I just see dollar signs. There's John Smith. Okay, that was a lot of money right there.
I mean, you look in your like sound department, 2,000 people, color department, 2,000 people.
Right. It really is amazing to see, but it's art, and that art takes an entire community. So beautiful, and congratulations on everything.
Well, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and all the people out there, I know lots of people that are creating art, creating movies, creating whatever. I know that it's been a long haul for a lot of them, and so stick with it. Patience for sure. So thanks for that message. It's very important for everyone.
Thank you.
Yep.
So much.
And where can you find the movie?
October 1st, we will be making our official release through Entertainment Studios digital department, which is Freestyle Digital Media. You will be able to find it through iTunes, video on demand, cable, Redbox, pretty much every avenue.
And in the meantime, you can like, follow, and share.
Sick for Toys on Facebook, Sick for Toys on Instagram, and then Sick for Toys on Twitter, because at that point they weren't allowing the so many letters.
Well, you got it. I'm Sick for Toys. What do you want for Christmas? Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land. It was a busy week here at Focus TV Studios West Hollywood with some great new shows, amazing episodes, and a few of my favorite guests. This was This Week in Focus. Filming this week at Focus was Monetize with special guest and musical talent John Ferreter. We shot Reshape with Ali Landry with some very special guests, including Mr. Light Watkins. On the Model Mama with host Tara Tenner, we had event planner extraordinaire Miss Pamela Roku. And this week on LA Unscripted was Jacques Silberstein, an incredible artist and amazing photographer. as I mentioned up top, we have some amazing new shows in the lineup, including The Wrenwood Show, featuring Laura Odegaard, the host of Focus TV's Millennial Life. And I was so excited for our new show, Model Talks, with special guest Anna Katerina. We shot City of Angels with special guest Lauren Roxborough. And I'm absolutely obsessed with our new show here at Focus, Purpose, hosted by Brittany Zonaker. This week she had a very special guest, Venus Moore. And Bita Yadini is hosting her new show, Sessions, and interviewed our very own associate producer, Ms. Victoria Simone. And it was a busy week here in La La Land. On Good Morning La La Land, we had special guest Tosca Musk, the creator of Passion Flicks, and the very first ever female NBA scout, Ms. Bonnie Jill Laughlin. And the star of the Bay, Christos Andrews. And Cherie J. Wilson celebrated the 25th anniversary of Walker, Texas Ranger. And sharing all of her Asian beauty secrets and wisdom was the creator of Pure Elise, Jen Yen. And of course, we rocked it out with Kaylee Shore. And we are always having fun filming here at Focus TV. Let's take a look.
Okay. I said Dr. Show. I'm just having fun. This is so hard. What else do I need to do? Oh. That's my life. That's too much talking. Do I just talk again? That was so hard. Thank you.
I'm Joseph Moyer, and we are hashtag community powered here at the Focus TV Studios, West Hollywood. Stay tuned for more on Focus TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited to have Cece Olisa. I love that name, so chic.
Thank you.
In the house, she is an entrepreneur, a lifestyle blogger, and I gotta say, your personal motto is don't wait till you're weight to live the life you want.
Yes.
I will drink to that. That is so good.
Cheers. That's right. Cheers to that for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your personal experience in building the brand and the empire that you've created.
Absolutely. So I've always been a plus size girl. I was a 10-pound baby, so it was pretty much destined that I was going to be a big girl. And I didn't really have plus size friends growing up or in college. It was always like my skinny friends who were like lovely and so supportive, but they didn't always get what I was going through. So I started my blog to kind of work through like my own journey to like body positivity and self-love and self-acceptance. And it started off as like a little project, like a diary for myself. And then, you know, tens of thousands of fans later, here we are.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of the short story of how it happened.
Was there like a catalyst or a moment where you decided, you know what, I have to kind of create this love letters for myself?
That's a good question. So I live in New York City, which is such an amazing playground to do so many things. And I found that I was starting to like hold back on certain like trips with friends or certain like fashion choices because I was kind of like, well, when I lose X amount of weight, then I'll do this and then I'll do that. And I found that I was just like, wait a minute, I'm young and I'm wasting time. So that's where my motto, don't wait on your weight to live the life you want, came from. So it's like, if I want to go parasailing in Miami, I'm going to do it. If I want to go hiking like in upstate New York, I'm going to do it. And it just kind of was a great lesson to me because all the things that I thought would kind of fall apart if I tried to do them as a plus size woman. Instead, it was like my life just became way more enriched, way more fulfilled. So I was like, what am I waiting for? Like, why am I, you know, instead of like waiting on that, just embracing life as I am now and always working to be better.
That's beautiful.
I just love that. One of my favorite quotes is by Michael Landon. I remember he was an actor, and one of the things he said was, you know, when he was getting close to his death, he said essentially, somebody should tell you right when you're born that you're already in the process of dying. And then if there's something you want to do it now. Don't wait.
Yes.
And I love that because even though for you, you know, in the blog, it's really about weight to a large extent, but it's also about a bigger, broader principle about just living your life now, right?
I think a lot of times we feel like we're not worthy of whatever it is that we want. And for some people it's weight, for some people it's age, for some people it's education. Like everybody has their thing that they kind of like feel a little insecure about. So I feel like that don't wait lifestyle can be applied to anything, which is kind of nice. So that when you kind of can let go of those fears and insecurities, then like life opens up to you and you start to live like the life that you want.
Which I talk a lot about in the spiritual movement, like waiting, giving up the someday factor, which is kind of the same thing. Being present, really living full out right now.
I love that.
So for you, living full out right now,
Yeah.
what does that look like? You help people with their brands, you help people exercise,
That's
you help people all
okay.
do things.
Yeah. So for me right now, it's a couple of things. One, I'm co-founder of the CurvyCon, which is a lifestyle convention during New York Fashion Week, where we bring like plus size influencers, plus size brands, and their fans all together for like a weekend
That's
of
so
just
rad.
body positivity, fashion shows, like all the things that you kind of wish you had every day. So that's one part. And then fitness is a huge part of my personal platform. I love looking cute and dressing up, but I feel like that all starts from the inside out. So making sure that like I'm living a healthy lifestyle and making videos for women who may look like me and feel intimidated in other fitness programs is super important to me. So I'm about to launch How to Get Fit with Bad Knees, which is a free workout series. A lot of women who are bigger, I mean, people in general have issues with joints, but How to Get Fit with Bad Knees is one of the most requested topics.
Really?
So I decided to make a free workout series showing people like modifications, how to strengthen your knees, and how to make any workout work for you. So my goal is that when women take the free workout series, then they can go into any boot camp or any gym and know like, okay, I can modify like this and still keep up with what's going on.
I love how invested you are in your community, how you're really listening to their feedback, to their requests. What do you think has been the biggest lesson from them that you've learned?
The biggest lesson that I've learned is that I'm not alone. And I think none of us are alone. I think especially when it comes to speaking out about our insecurities and being vulnerable, sometimes you feel like you're in it by yourself. Like you can get so stuck in like what you're going through or what's painful for you. But me being brave and like raising my hand and say, this is what I'm going through, and having like tens of thousands of women be like, me too, oh my gosh. Like it suddenly makes it feel not so overwhelming. And then I can focus on things like, okay, well, how do we make a difference since we're all going through this, and like thinking that we're isolated. We're not isolated.
But what would you tell to the women who might be hesitant to reach out?
That's a good question. I think that I was a person who was afraid to reach out at one point. I was afraid to kind of talk about what I was going through. But I think that in general, people are kind, and in general, people are willing to help. I know I am. So it might be as simple as like finding someone like me on Instagram and like sending a message and being like, girl, help me. Like, I'm happy to do that. People do that to me every day, and I don't mind like setting them on a path that might get them to body positivity or feeling better about themselves on a daily basis.
So true.
You're such a light.
You know, getting more serious for a minute and asking the hard questions. Where's that line for you between where someone is curvy versus it's getting unhealthy, where somebody is, you know, their health issues because they're getting bigger? Where's that line? How do you deal with that?
I feel like when it comes to health and weight, it can be super, super tricky. So I've been in situations where I've been in like the hospital complaining about like one thing, like go to the ER, like I'm not feeling well, I think it's this, but the doctor can't look past my weight and won't acknowledge the pain that I'm going through because they're just like, well, you're plus size, it's gotta be that. Sometimes the weight isn't that a health issue. Sometimes it can be that the weight is exacerbated by other health issues or the other way around. But I think that oftentimes when it comes to when women are saying I'm plus size and I'm okay with that, sometimes the health thing is the first thing to come up, which is why fitness is a big part of my platform. So for me, it's not about the size of your jeans or what the scale says, but it is about how you treat your body. So to me, being healthy is more about your actions than like what you look like. So if you are the person that's like taking yoga or going to the gym regularly and eating your fruits and vegetables, if all that's happening and you're still a plus size girl, then maybe that's what your body is telling you. But it's all about like how you treat yourself, right?
You have such a healthy mindset. Was there a person in your life who helped guide you in that served as your mentor?
I think I grew up always being active, and I think I took that into like my adulthood. So I was like a dancer when I was younger, that kind of stuff. Even still being like a chubby kid, I was always like very into like moving my body and things like that. And I found that like when I would go to the gym, I was totally comfortable like with moving my body, but everybody was acting like, oh my gosh, like she's so great, like she can do this stuff. I'm like, I'm not the only one, right? So for me, I feel like it just came from that inner confidence that I knew what my body could do, and I had to make sure that I didn't like start to hold back just because I looked a certain way. And I think that's something that's learned. When I was a kid dancing, I didn't think anything of it. I was just happy.
Right, and let's face the fact that if like self-hate and all that is worse probably than anything that you can put in your body. Like so important.
Some
to
people,
love exactly where you are.
Exactly.
So how do you do that? How does one build like self-love or love themselves more when there's so much about their life or themselves that they don't love?
Yeah. I can give you a couple of my favorite tips.
Let's hear 'em.
Okay. So,
where's my pen?
Right.
I'm gonna write this down.
So the first thing I would say is we're in a cool day and age where we can kind of curate what we see. It's not just what's on TV and what's in magazines. With social media, you can curate your own like media feed. You follow certain people. So following people who make you feel bad about yourself might be the first thing that I would say to change. I am very
Unfollow.
right?
Yeah.
Just unfollow. If that person makes you feel like you're a failure at whatever, why are you following them? Make sure to follow people who reflect you, whether it's people who have chocolate skin like me or natural hair like me, like little things that make me feel like proud of who I am and make me feel inspired and to be better. Like that, those are the accounts that I would try to follow.
So we can just follow all losers and we're like, I'm doing
that person that has like the perfect acai bowl every morning and you're like, really, I can't even get a smoothie in? Like, don't follow that person anymore. Just take a break.
Yeah, they have the most gorgeous, healthy family.
Every time.
And a
the
baby.
kiwis are sliced like perfectly. Like, sometimes you need a break from that person.
On Facebook now, you can take a break.
Right? Yeah, just put them on mute for a second.
That's so cute.
The other thing I would say is I learned that it takes 5 positive comments to outdo the damage of 1 negative comment. So think about that. Like, you can think about your past and like things that people said to you when you were a little kid that maybe stung. You still remember those, but I'm sure there are hundreds of things that people said to you nice that you can't quite. You're like, I'm sure someone was nice to me at some point, but you can remember those things that really pained you or stung you. The same to me works with self-talk. So like if I'm doing negative self-talk, I know that for every negative thing I tell myself, I have to tell myself 5 good things to kind of like balance that out. So trying to keep that arsenal of like things you love about yourself, whether it's you have strong calves or you're a good friend or you're a good sister, something like that. Just have those things that you know are amazing about you so that when you start to have those like negative self-talk moments, which we all have, then you can kind of counterbalance that.
I love that.
Is there like a list you queue up? You're like 1 through 5. Okay, I was just so mean. I go strong calves, good hair.
I try. I do try to have a list. I can't give you the full list right now. Some of it's a little personal, but what I also have is 5 keys to cultivating confidence, which if your viewers want to look at that, they can just send me a text message. So you can text CC tips to 44222, and I have my full list, 5 keys to cultivating confidence every day.
Yes, I love that. So let's talk entrepreneurship for a minute, because you help, I would imagine, mostly girls.
Mostly women.
With their brand, with their image, all that stuff. I'm curious to know, are there some particular groups and communities that you've liked that you have helped build your business up for women?
So what I find is there's a few spaces that I love. One is the fashion space, of course, just because I feel like fashion inclusivity is starting to like find a little bit of momentum. So I think it's really cool to see all the brands that are opening up their lines to plus sizes. I've just been doing a national tour with Loft, which is an amazing brand, and they just expanded up to a 24 when they used to stop at I think a size 12. So that opened up to a lot of women, a brand that they've always coveted, because Loft is super cute, easy clothes for women. So working with that brand to reach more women around the country has been really inspiring. And then being able to meet them one-on-one in stores and talk to them about their goals. A lot of women are working a job that they're cool with, but maybe have a little brand inside of them that they want to build, maybe a blog or a YouTube channel. So I love giving advice to them in those spaces as well.
I love that.
Yeah,
it's so great. And I love that blue dress.
Thank
you. Gorgeous.
She knows how to work her brand. She's an expert at it.
I do what I can.
So fun.
Yeah.
So tell people where they can find you and how they can work with you.
Yeah, for sure. The best place to find me is on Instagram. My Instagram is Ceceolisa, Ceceolisa. So I talk back to everyone who follows me, leave a comment, send a message. I'm happy to be in touch.
So cool. Thank you so much for all your work. Really important work.
We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. And if you want to listen to Cece's amazing interview, it is at a podcast on iTunes.
I love it. So we are waking up the world together, you guys. Like, share, and comment. Have a wonderful, beautiful day.
It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.